making headlines. The President welcomes the advisory opinion rendered by the ICJ in respect of the legal consequences arising from the policies and practices of Israel in the occupied Palestinian territory. The President inaugurates the NARAS portal to issue ID cards through local councils. And the President states that better services can be provided to the public by reducing the number of councillors. Welcome to the English News. I'm your host Malak Ahmad Fayaz. Now for the news in detail. President Dr. Mohammad Muisa welcomes the advisory opinion rendered by the International Court of Justice (ICJ) in respect of the legal consequences arising from the policies and practices of Israel in the occupied Palestinian territory, including East Jerusalem.
In a message shared on social media, President Muisa stated that by recognizing the continued illegal presence of Israel in the occupied Palestinian territories as a violation of international humanitarian law, the court attests to the aspirations of the Palestinian people embedded in their rightful pursuit of statehood and self-determination. He called on Israel to bring an immediate end to its unlawful settlement policies and make reparations for the damage incurred because of its exploitative and discriminative actions. He stated that the Maldives set renewed hope with this decree for a sovereign and independent state of Palestine, in line with the pre-1967 borders with East Jerusalem as its capital. The United Nations highest court said on July 19 that Israel's occupation of Palestinian territories and settlements there are illegal and should be withdrawn as soon as possible in its strongest findings to date on the Israel-Palestinian conflict. The advisory opinion by judges at the International ICJ was not binding but carries weight under international law and may weaken support for Israel. The court said Israel's obligations include paying restitution for harm and the evacuation of all settlers from existing settlements. The opinion also found that the UN Security Council, the General Assembly, and all states have an obligation not to recognize the occupation as illegal, nor render aid or assistance towards maintaining Israel's presence in the occupied territories. The case stems from a 2022 request for a legal opinion from the UN General Assembly predating the war in Gaza that began in October. In a swift reaction, Israel's Foreign Ministry rejected the opinion as fundamentally wrong and one-sided and repeated its stance that a political settlement in the region can only be reached by negotiations.
President Dr. Mohammad Muisa inaugurates the NARAS portal to issue ID cards through local councils.
The first online portal to apply and issue ID cards was inaugurated in the Maldives in 2021. On March 2023, the then administration replaced this portal with an official online portal of the Department of National Registration (DNR), allowing citizens to apply for the card directly from their location. This brought a halt to the services provided by the local councils in issuing the ID cards. Even though the DNR portal made it easier to apply for ID cards from anywhere in the world, making the service online created challenges for the elderly. To provide convenient services to the elderly, the administration started work to further strengthen the existing relationship with the councils. As part of these efforts, the administration launched the NARAS portal. The newly launched portal is designed to streamline the processing and issuance of national identification cards. It enables individuals to monitor the status of their ID card applications and empowers island councils with the capability to issue ID cards, mirroring the process currently in place in Mala City. As part of this, the council will also be provided with fingerprint devices. Highlighting that the administration aims to provide fast and efficient services, Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ibrahim Isa noted that no ID card will be kept on pending for more than 24 hours.
President Dr. Mohammad Moizu states that better services can be provided to the public by reducing the number of councillors. He made the statement during the ceremony held to inaugurate the NARAS portal and the second phase of the Operation Kurangi.
Taking the podium at the event, President Moise noted that the country's decentralization system is currently very burdensome. He went on to say that the system is not working as efficiently as it should due to the size of the councils. Sharing his views on the changes that could be made to the number of councillors, the President requested to change the number of councillors in islands with less than a 3,000 population to 3. He also suggested the islands with a population between 5,000 to 10,000 should decrease the number of councillors to 5. President Moise added that reducing the number of councillors will enable the councils to run more efficiently with high prioritization given to the needs of the public. He noted that technical studies in relation to this are being conducted. He also noted that reducing the number of councillors would reduce the state expenditure on local councils, giving the state the opportunity to use the money on improving the salaries of civil service employees. The President stressed that providing services to the public is not about the numbers but about the sincerity and honesty in actively providing those services. Noting that the role of councils in solving the major problems of the country will be increased, President Moise stated that services will be decentralized in the future to provide the public with the widest range of services.
President Dr. Mohammad Moizu announces a decision to allocate a percentage of the revenue generated from tourism to the budgets of councils. He made the statement during the ceremony held to inaugurate the NARAS portal and the second phase of the Operation Kurangi. Speaking at the ceremony, the President stressed that the administration gives high priority to empowering the councils. He noted that the councils would need sufficient budgets to carry out the developmental projects and reiterated that the state would provide them with the necessary funds and facilities. In addition to allocating a percentage of the tourism revenue to the councils, the President disclosed that he intends to amend the constitution to allocate a percentage of the taxes paid by the local tourism stakeholders. The administration expands Operation Kurangi nationwide and launched the second phase of the program.
Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Hussain states that the councils will be given direct access to the applications developed for the second phase of the operation. To tackle the issue of illegal immigrants in the country, Ministry of Homeland Security, in collaboration with the Maldives Police Service and the Maldives Immigration, launched the Operation Kurangi in May. The pilot program of the operation was conducted in Himmafush Island of Kaf Atoll. With the launch of the second phase of the operation, councils were given fingerprint machines which will be used to identify the expatriates living in the islands. Furthermore, with direct access to the applications developed for the operation, the councils can upload pictures of the expatriates to identify them, his occupation, and which company he is employed at. Mr. Issa noted that the aim is to find a permanent solution to the issue of illegal immigrants within 3 years by ensuring they are in the country legally and regularizing them. As such, he notes that the administration aims to identify the illegal immigrants within 1 year and add them into the system within the next 2 years. The program also includes finding them employers.
Minister of Homeland Security and Technology Ali Hussain pledges to ensure that all individuals working under the Homeland Ministry maintains integrity. He made the commitment during the inauguration ceremony of the NARAS portal and the second phase of the Kurangi operation. Speaking at the ceremony, Minister Hussain highlighted that many institutions in the Maldives have become rife with corruption. He also said that it posed as a significant challenge to law enforcement, including those within the Homeland Ministry. Additionally, Minister Hussain emphasized that President Dr. Mohammad Moizu has issued clear directives to eradicate corruption. He stated that the current administration will adopt a zero-tolerance policy towards it. The minister pointed out the recent operation targeting 18 officers from the Maldives Correctional Service MCS in Mafushi prison as a crucial step in addressing corruption. He also reiterated the government's commitment to ensuring the integrity and honesty of all personnel within the Homeland Ministry. Furthermore, Minister Hussain stressed that security and safety are paramount for the public, and he assured that he would continue to serve with integrity. He also said that the ministry's goal is to create a safe environment on every island in the Maldives. Minister of Cities, Local Government and Public Works Adam Sharif Umar announces that the results of the study on the amendments to the Decentralization Act will be open for public consultation in August. Speaking at the launch ceremony of the NARES portal and the second phase of Operation Kurangi, Minister Adam Sharif highlighted the need for improvements to the country's decentralization system. He also said that local councils should evolve into agencies capable of delivering services that meet public expectations and gain their approval. Additionally, Minister Adam Sharif said that the study results on strengthening the decentralization system will be available by mid-August. In light of these findings, he said that the councils, clubs and associations will be invited for consultation. He also highlighted the positive changes introduced under President Dr. Mohammad Muizzu's leadership, asserting that the president is poised to become the champion of decentralization in the Maldives due to efforts to empower councils and enhance their financial stability. The Public Sector Investment Program PSIP includes plans to build 55 councils, with an additional 50 councils planned, reflecting the country's commitment to creating a better environment and improving council services. The Ministry of Tourism announces an invitation for proposals to develop tourist facilities on uninhabited islands under cross-subsidization. Cross-subsidization grants a land plot island or lagoon to an investor who finances a project aligned with the government's economic or social policies. These areas require formal agreement with provisions for government repossession if the lessee fails to meet project obligations. The investor's project expenses are deducted from the land rent. A minimum investment threshold for such projects is established annually by presidential decree. The ministry included 2 islands in Non Atoll along with 6 other islands for tourism development under cross-subsidization. A total of 6 islands have already been allocated for tourism purposes as cross-subsidies. These islands were designated by former President Ibrahim Mohamed Solih, though the list may change in the future. Allocating islands for cross-subsidization was a policy of previous governments. The ministry said that proposals can now be submitted under the regulation, with application forms available on the ministry's website www.tourism.gov.mv. The Ministry of Youth Empowerment, Information and Arts conducts a training program for journalists and higher education students in Addu City and Formula City. The program was conducted by the ministry from July 19 to 20th with a total of 40 participants from both cities. The aim of the program is to familiarize journalists and aspiring journalists in Addu and Formula with effective news dissemination. In addition, it seeks to educate them on the dangers of spreading false information and the importance of adhering to international reporting standards. The topics covered in the program include journalistic ethics, types of journalism and writing, the role of journalists in the development of the Maldives, and investigative journalism. Various journalism concepts, journalistic language, challenges and opportunities in journalism, fake news and solution journalism was also discussed during the program. The sessions were led by Ali Shamman, Ahmad Naif, Mohammad Nazif, Shamman Shakir, Ashraf Ali and Dr. Ibrahim Samir. US stocks extended their slump on July 19th as lingering chaos related to a global technical outage caused by a software glitch added uncertainty to an already anxious market.
The worldwide tech outage disrupted operations across multiple industries, including airlines, banking, and healthcare, after the glitch in cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike's software caused Microsoft's Windows operating systems to crash. While the flaw was identified and fixes deployed, technical issues continue to affect some services. CrowdStrike shares slid, while rival cybersecurity firms Palo Alto Networks and SentinelOne advanced. All 3 major U.S. stock indexes ended in negative territory, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average suffering the worst of it. On a weekly basis, both the Nasdaq and the S&P 500 logged their worst week since April, while the Dow, having reached a series of all-time closing highs earlier in the week, posted a Friday-to-Friday gain. The S&P 500 lost 39.59 points or 0.71% to end at 5,505 points, while the Nasdaq Composite lost 144.28 points or 0.81% to 17,726.94. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 377.49 points or 0.93% to 40,287.53.
Alberto Fujimori, 85, who governed Peru with an iron fist for a decade and fled the country amid corruption scandals and human rights violations, plans to run for president amid a cloud of uncertainty and fractured politics.
Fujimori's daughter, Keiko, who unsuccessfully ran for president 3 times, announced the news, drawing attention to the 85-year-old ex-president, who was released from prison in December after an appeals court reinstated his pardon. But legal experts and analysts are questioning the viability of his 2026 candidacy due to his previous convictions. Aníbal Quiroga, a constitutional lawyer who says Article 33 of Peru's constitution removes the political rights of people given prison sentences after criminal convictions, says that Fujimori cannot be a valid candidate for the 2026 general elections because he is sentenced. Fujimori owes $15 million in civil damages over 3 separate cases. Experts say his candidacy would have to be decided by the country's electoral authority. Human rights activists and the relatives of victims of massacres committed by paramilitary groups under Fujimori's presidency believes his candidacy offends the victims' memories and will hinder their fight for justice. Fujimori was released from prison at the end of last year following a controversial humanitarian pardon. He was serving a 25-year sentence for human rights abuses and corruption. The former president, who was in power through the 1990s, received a presidential pardon in 2017, but back then pressure from the Inter-American Court of Human Rights repeatedly stalled his attempts to regain freedom.
Holger Rune was forced to retire from his Hamburg European Open quarter-final match against Frenchman Arthur Fields on Friday, cast in doubt on the Danes' participation in the Paris Olympics, which open next week.
Rune was trailing 6-4, 4-1 when he conceded the match to Fields, who advances to the semi-finals to take on third seed Argentine Sebastian Baez, a 2-6, 6-4, 6-4 winner over Italy's Luciano Daderi. Top seed Alexander Zverev, meanwhile, eased into the semi-finals with a 6-4, 6-3 win over China's Shizheng Zhang to continue his title defense. The German broke serve 3 times without reply as he progressed to a semi-final against Spain's Pedro Martinez, a 1-6, 6-1, 6-4 winner against 4th seed Francisco Cerundolo of Argentina.
Japanese scientists have devised a method to attach living skin tissue to robotic faces and make them smile, a breakthrough that has potential applications in cosmetics and medicine.
University of Tokyo researchers grew human skin cells into a face shape and used embedded ligament-like attachments to pull it into a white green. Lead researcher Shoji Takechi notes that while the result may still appear eerie, it represents an important step forward in creating more lifelike robots. Takechi highlighted that no one had figured out how to make the living skin move until now. He stated that attaching these actuators and anchors, it became possible to manipulate living skin for the first time. The smiling robot, featured in a study published online by Cell Reports Physical Science, is the product of a decade of research by Takechi and his lab on how to combine biological and artificial machines. Looking ahead, the researchers aim to add more elements to lab-grown skin, including a circulatory systems and nerves that could lead to safer testing platforms for cosmetics and drug absorbed through the skin. It could also produce more realistic and functional coverings for robots. But the remaining challenge is the so-called uncanny valley, where robots are perceived as strange or unnerving the more they resemble humans. Like other human-like robots, Takeshi acknowledged that his creation also had a bit of that creepiness.
That's all the news we have for today. Thank you all for watching.